When we think about successful tiny house living and really good small space design, one of the things that we always come back to is clever utilisation of space. And here in Queensland, Australia, we're about to visit a tiny house that is absolutely jam-packed with some incredible small space ideas. Hi Megan, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm great, lovely to meet you. G'day Colin, how's it going, mate?
Great, thanks. Great to meet you too.
It's great to meet you, and it is great to meet this incredible tiny house that you've built.
Yeah.
Now this is actually the first tiny house that I've seen in Australia which has been built on a gooseneck trailer. Can you tell me a little bit about making that decision?
Yeah, so that decision was made in a couple of stages. We're not old, but we're getting there. We would like to be living in this house for quite some time, and the one thing we said we don't want to do is have to crawl into a bedroom loft. And so the gooseneck provided that answer, yeah.
And by building on a gooseneck as well, it's obviously also allowed you to build quite a large tiny house, hasn't it? What size is this?
So it's 12 metres by 3, normal 4.3 metre maximum height for on the roads in Australia. Yeah, but the 3 metres width makes a massive difference inside, as you'll see.
Yeah, so building on a heavy trailer, what does that mean for transport of the house?
Yeah, so part of our thought in building our house was that we didn't want to be buying a big vehicle to tow it ourselves. We thought if we're building a big trailer, we would let the professionals do it and allow a prime mover or a semi-trailer to tow that for us.
Fantastic. Now, I want to talk more about the house soon, but first, we've got to talk about your parking space because this looks wonderful.
Yeah,
It's a great parking
it's
space.
magnificent. We literally couldn't have hoped for anything better. We come out still, we've been here over a year now, and we still come out and enjoy it every single day. And we feel like we're out in the middle of the bush somewhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it certainly does. And then you've done a wonderful job of landscaping around the tiny house as well. I see you've got gorgeous gardens out the back there.
Yep, gardens are a little
That's
bit of a
all him.
hobby. It's nice to, it's part of the whole lifestyle to relax, and just pottering around out in the garden is a nice way of unwinding.
Yeah.
So building a larger tiny house, and obviously you've built on a gooseneck trailer which has allowed you to have a little bit more weight than regular tiny houses. Can you talk to me a little bit about the materials which you've used in the home's construction?
So WeatherTech's outdoor cladding, tin roof, timber frame, so it's not metal. So yeah, the weight thing becomes an issue for a lot of people, trying to keep under that 4.5 tonnes. Ours, the trailer was built for 12, which for a semi-trailer is light. They're normally 30 tonnes, so it's easier for them to tow. So we've been able to put lots of quality gear, both inside and outside, and not be concerned by that weight.
And can you tell me a little bit about the exterior design of the home and what inspired this aesthetic?
Oh, that's me. If I ever got to build a normal house, I always wanted to do a Hampton-style home, and I thought, why not try and borrow some of those aesthetics for this? So hence the colours and the nice clean lines and some of the finishes inside, and it's come up better than we expected.
Very nice. Well, it certainly is a beautiful looking home. And can you talk to me a little bit about what inspired the move into a tiny house?
So we were like a typical family living in a 4-bedroom home, 2 daughters who have now left home. So do we really need the size of the house we were? We were starting to see the shows on TV and thinking, well, that looks pretty cool. And in fact, I thought that looks so cool, and I thought there's no way my wife would do it, but it was her who originally said, hey, I could do that. And so
I've never seen him move so fast.
I nearly
To
fell out.
start designing and start selling stuff and move, and it's, oh, we could do this, we could do this, oh, we could do this, and that was it. Once
We're
I was
rolling.
on board, everyone was on board.
And you actually DIY'd a lot of this project as well. Can you talk to me about that?
So we did it really in 3 phases. We outsourced the construction of the trailer, obviously. The next part was to figure out how we would do the external shell, and we decided to outsource the building of the external frame. So frame, including paint and lock-up, but completely bare inside, no electrics, no plumbing or anything. And we took delivery of it at that stage, and we've done everything since, which has been really great.
And what was the process of actually fitting it out like for you?
Yeah, it was great. And look, we wanted to acknowledge friends and family who assisted, and that was really important. We've literally finished it like this week, and we've been living in it now for 14 months. So we took our time, and we've
Got what we wanted.
got the good things that we wanted. partially as we could afford it, partially as they became available, but also living in it and maybe tweaking a few things once we're in the space as well to make it right for us.
Well, I really love the style of this house. I think you've found an incredible place here to put it, and I'm very excited to see how you've styled the inside. Can we check it out?
We sure can.
All right, thank you. Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. This whole home just feels incredibly spacious, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does feel spacious, and that's what we wanted, and yeah, we're really pleased that it feels that way.
Yeah, and we've intentionally kept light colours, as most tiny house people do, to make it feel more spacious and just visually trick the eye.
Absolutely. And of course, immediately upon entering this home, we are in this beautiful kitchen. Talk to me about this.
Yeah, so the kitchen, I worked as a cabinet maker for like 15 years, so it was something I was keen to do. We wanted the good stuff, like we said, so marble was something that Megan chose very early on, and we wanted to build it around. You know, just having it functional as well as looking really good was important, so part of that was to plan where things go, using as much space as we can, putting extra drawers in, putting even drawers, say, in underneath the kickboards that come in and out. Using that space as well as we can was important.
Absolutely. And then of course, really great sized appliances here as well.
Yeah, all
I
size
love
house
to cook,
appliances.
so that was a given. And I was very fussy with the oven, and it's a gas oven and a gas cooktop because we wanted to minimise our power usage. I wasn't going to have just this pokey little oven, it had to be a full-size oven. Yeah.
Yeah. While we're talking about power usage quickly, are you off the grid here or are you grid tied?
We are on the grid at the moment. Our philosophy for Tiny House wasn't necessarily to go all the way, but we will be happy if we can. So we have a solar system actually sitting underneath the house at the moment, so that's a future project.
And with the design of this kitchen, one of the things that I really like is that you have built in an incredible amount of workspace. And it's really nice the way that you've built in both sides to create this kind of semi-galley style as well.
I love to cook and I love to spread out and I love to entertain, so having bench space was really important. Eventually we will change these windows out to have a servery window. That's a want thing, not a need thing, so we'll eventually be doing indoor-outdoor catering. And we've thought out storage everywhere, so it's a lot of thought has gone into this design.
And then of course, matching all of this, you've also added this dining table here as well.
Yeah.
You won't believe the story of that dining room table. I wanted Colin to make a replica French parquetry one, and down in the shed there was this really grimy old long piece of timber, and he goes, just have a look at it. And I went, ugh. And then I had a closer look, and that has been recycled from a cafe in the city, so it's reclaimed. And he has lovingly restored it and got the old antique parquetry look. And we've reused something that would have ended up in landfill.
Beautiful.
So it actually doubles as a desk and table. And so if you want to pop down and have a look underneath here, you can see a couple of things. We didn't want any legs here, so I've constructed these really heavy metal brackets which are actually bolted to the stud, and so they were one of the first things fitted. But then we've also added drawers in under here or a drawer in under here for a bit of stationery. And you can even see some cupboards inside the stud walls under here for a bit more office type supplies.
Yeah, very, very clever hidden storage there. And then over here we have your lounge area, and this really is such a lovely space.
So the full window at the end was something important to us, to let lots of light plus air through. Got cool stuff in here as well. Do you need to see cool stuff?
Absolutely, always need to see cool stuff.
Let's look at the cool stuff. So to make the television work, we've got Apple TV and a computer up here. Down in the cupboard here we have computer gear, the internet connection and router and so on. To connect it all together though, we've got the television swinging out, and in behind it a cupboard with all the connections and wiring.
Very clever and a super tidy way of doing it.
Yeah, it keeps everything clean, nothing clutter. That's good.
And then it's really interesting what you've done with this loft here as well, keeping this section open.
So it was a full loft originally, and we discovered that this side was a little bit lower than we were expecting. and that the space was bigger, and we thought let's turn it into kind of a mezzanine side floor rather than a full floor, and we're really pleased we did. It lets a lot of light down there, and the openness is the big thing.
And what is really cool is it looks like you've managed to add a workspace up there in that loft. Can you talk to me about how that all works?
I do. I set it up there originally thinking I would sit down, but found that it worked perfectly to stand on that step and work like a standing desk that lots of people are finding are better for them anyway. So yeah, it's great.
And then I noticed that throughout the home, and especially here in the stairs, you've built in these really nice feature lights.
Yeah, so a lot of the lighting within the house is smart control, so smart lights controlled by Siri or whatever. We've also focused a little bit on having different moods. So for example, you could put the bright lights and make it very light, or the lights under the bench and in the steps are colour ones, you can change them. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
And what do we have through here?
That's where our bathroom is.
Right, can we take a look?
Let's do.
Oh, this is a very spacious bathroom.
Yeah. So one of the benefits of going that extra width was allowing us still to have the hall to our bedroom here, plus a sizable bathroom. And that made the difference for us.
Lots of storage built in here as well.
You want me to show you the storage?
I sure do.
The storage is pretty cool. It's using the space that's in underneath and behind the steps coming up through here. So starting, say here, a little push cupboard that just stores toilet rolls or whatever. Pull-out shelf here, which is where our towels can go. Dirty clothes basket here, and even here there's a pull-out bench, which actually has a 100 kg runner, so you can sit on it if you want to.
That is very clever. You're definitely showing off your past as a cabinet maker in this one.
There's a few more.
Space.
A little bit of space there extra, so we thought on a rainy day maybe an extra hanging rail might be useful, as well as somewhere to pop that. And one of the coolest things is this corner could have just been like two bits of walls with a lost piece of space, but instead of that we've built in a cupboard all the way up the corner there.
That is seriously cool.
Yeah.
Not an inch of space wasted in here.
No.
And then we've got an incinerating toilet here.
We do. So one of the wants that we had for the house was not to be using composting or anything else. So we investigated and got the Cinderella toilet and love it. We found that's also a benefit when looking for somewhere to put the house, because the first question that a prospective landowner is going to want to know is what happens with your waste. Well, in our case there is none. It's literally all contained in that. It turns into ash, which we would empty once a month with just a tiny little bit of ash like your fire pit would have anyway. So it's really good.
Nice and easy. And really nice sized vanity here as well, and a lovely big mirror.
Yeah, so the vanity's pretty cool. The mirror was extra cool. We'd seen the ones that have the LED strip around them and thought that's what we would like. Megan found this one come up for about $3.99 in a warehouse sort of store, and we grabbed it, put it in, found out then that it has internal demisting, so it never fogs up, and it also Bluetooths to your phone and has speakers in it. So you can listen to music from your mirror.
Just what you need.
That is completely ridiculous.
It is, isn't it? But it looks great. It looks great.
And then through here we have the access way to your bedroom.
Yeah, there is. So this is the hallway up there. Down in this part there's more storage. So using all that space all back through there.
Yeah, great.
Even this one here hasn't got a drawer or anything, so we've been able to put a little flip up lid there and a bit of storage down in underneath that one.
Even on a gas sprung hinge.
Yeah.
Should we check out your bedroom?
We shall.
Okay, after you. This really is such a lovely and cozy space, yet still obviously much more spacious than a sleeping loft, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like we said, we can stand up.
Stand up.
You can easily stand up, which is
Yeah.
always the test of how tall a bedroom is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, it looks like you've built a tremendous amount of storage in this space.
There is. So along that hallway is where the hanging space goes. Around to this side there's more storage that we can access from standing here, plus in behind all of that is the longer term storage that would be swap the winter and summer things in and out as we go. Beside each bed head there's a little pop out door that would have a little bit of space. The one over that side has space down behind it, so down in behind there's a spot that a long dress can hang. Under the bed also there's lots of storage. We bought a bed with a gas strut, to let us use the space underneath, but we wanted to access it from outside as well, so we've customised it with drawers on the sides and even little shoe pigeon holes in that end to be able to get the things we want regularly, easily, and the things we want to store away by lifting it up.
Yeah. So you've been living in the house now for about 14 months. You've only just completed it within the last week. Can you tell me, how are you actually finding living here?
Loving it. And that says a lot for me. I always pictured myself in the big house with all the things, everything around me. And it has been so enlightening that over the last 2 years I have downsized and embraced living here. I honestly would not have ever seen myself at this point, but I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. And I think there's a bit of a niche market there too, because there's plenty of people like us that don't kind of want to get down to the grassroots level but still make a better impact on the environment and make better choices. And I think the way the economy's going, you'll find more people that want to do kind of this level. Like to some people, they'll think we've gone too far, but for us it's a massive downsize and we just love it. Yeah.
Housing affordability clearly is an issue, and if things keep going the way they're going, it just gets worse and worse and worse, so change has to happen. So something like this becomes an answer to a growingly impossible problem. People like us being an example of someone in the middle ground. You know, it isn't tiny, but it's still affordable and it's still lovely, but it can make a difference. So that's important to us.
And speaking to that affordability, what did this home cost to build?
Our initial budget was going to be about $120,000 and we've surpassed that. When you hear people spending $60,000, $80,000, $100,000, well, ours is probably a third as long again, and it has a lot of the nice things, and we wanted a place that we're going to enjoy for the next 20 years, and if that means paying a little bit extra, that's fine. We're buying things as the money becomes available for them, and we're being a little bit responsible in that regard.
Because it's something that we've been able to do together, we've both had our hands all over this house. Making the kitchen, he'd be on the saw, I'd be doing all the edging. We've both handled everything. He'd be doing lining, I'd be doing insulation. It's not just a you project, it's been an us project, and it's a house that love has built.
Yeah. And the project itself has been an adventure in itself. And so, in a way, I've not wanted the project of doing the house to finish because it's such an enjoyment to have done it. And really that's finished basically last week. So we almost go into a new phase of how we're going to enjoy the house now, just living it rather than tweaking and working on it.
And having the next project.
Yeah.
Well, you really have built such a beautiful home here. I love all of the attention to detail and the incredible finish in here, and the fact that each and every inch of this has been so cleverly used. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful home with me.
You're so welcome. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you. Colin and Megan really have done such an incredible job with this home. The design and build has been so thoroughly thought out, and the space has been so incredibly well utilized. And what I really like about this story is I think it really goes to show that for those who are thinking of downsizing, you can really do it without having to compromise. Here within these walls, they have absolutely everything that they need, and this is a space that really has given them some fantastic options for the future. This really is an incredibly well-built and thought out home.